Hey everyone, it's Stranger Grayson here. Welcome back to another horror movie video. Today is not going to be a review on any horror movie. This is actually going to be a ranking video. And yes, I have not done one of those in a while, simply because I've just been so busy and caught up. But fortunately, I do have some free time over the summer. This ranking is going to be on the Friday the 13th movies. And these all came in a box set, Scream Factory. I'm so glad to get that for Christmas last year. But I don't want to get carried away. Before I begin this ranking, I want to shout out Strange Michael and Goosebumps Boy. They have been so supportive, and I was so happy to have the chance to collaborate with both of them. We all did the Friday the 13th franchise. Strange Michael already got his ranking up, I believe, yesterday or the day before. So I'm going to be doing a ranking video following him. I just finished up the remake yesterday morning, and I got a review out for that. So I'll leave links to both their channels down below. Amazing guys. Please go check them out. But yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and start off with the reviews. So starting off with my least favorite Friday the 13th movie. This movie had so much gore, and the gore was really good in this film, but up from the writing to the whole plot to the performance of Jason, everything was so bad. It completely ruined the franchise for like a good 9 years. And that movie is Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday. This was such a bad film. All I have to say is, fuck this movie. Screw the friggin' director. I don't know what you were thinking of doing. This just had bad written all over it. The whole body swapping premise where like Jason's a little slug monster and he possesses people, that was so stupid. And the whole tie-in thing where they're trying to make it look like Jason's a Deadite and that's why he's been coming back all these years. Sure, good idea, but this movie had made no sense. All the characters were bad except for like one. Freaking Kane Hodder got so less stuff to do in this film. Jason was only in here for like the first 5 minutes and the last 10 minutes. Other than that, it's just people playing Jason and their body swapping. That was so stupid. The gore is the only thing that saves this movie. But other than that, this was so bad. My least favorite out of the Friday films, and this shit movie. Don't watch this. If you want to watch a Friday the 13th movie or you're just getting into the series, avoid this film at all costs. Just, fuck you. Okay, now that that's out of the way, let's go into my second least favorite film. And this film had so much potential, but due to budget and the misdirection you had with all the posters, it killed it for me, and it was so boring at points. That film is Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. Wow, what a film. Kane Hodder's second performance, I don't think he's as good as he was in Part 7, but very, very alright looking Jason. Not my favorite, but he's alright. Most of the characters suck in this film, except for like Julius and maybe Rennie and Sean, but other than that, these people sucked. Hate the characters. The kills, while they were better than Part 7, they just completely were bad until, like, 9 came in, but let's not talk about that movie. The ending, one of the stupidest endings I've ever seen in a Jason film. Honestly, the stupidest ending. The Manhattan parts were cool. That's why it's getting above Jason Goes to Hell, because this at least had Jason doing what he does best, and Manhattan kind of saved it for me from being at the bottom. But man, this film had a lot of issues. Just next time, don't advertise your movie takes place in Manhattan when it's only like the last half hour. So yeah, Jason Goes to Hell, or Jason Takes Manhattan. Not a great film. Maybe avoid this, but if you want to have a boring ride, go right ahead. So, but yeah, it's very unfortunate. Jason Takes Manhattan, number 11 spot. Next pick right after that was a movie that I enjoyed a little bit more than Manhattan, but the whole idea of this film was poorly executed, in my opinion. But the look of Jason in this film was amazing. And that movie is Jason X in my 10th spot. It's very fitting. 10th film in the franchise. Gets number 10 in my ranking, my third least favorite. From this point on, all the other movies are somewhat watchable, but just, I really did not like any of the characters in this film. They sucked. Jason carried this film heavily, especially with the kills. I did enjoy the kills in this film. Uber Jason, amazing. Really did enjoy that aspect. I understand you want to try to branch off your franchise from other stuff. Manhattan went on a boat, sure, but space is a whole lot cooler than being on a boat, in my opinion. I like a lot of sci-fi horror, but I just don't like Jason being put up there. But at least it was a change of pace for the horror movies. The writing sucked. Most of the characters were annoying. Ending was pretty fitting for like the main entries, except that Freddy vs. Jason and then the remake. But it was an alright end to Jason for that film where he disintegrates in outer space. I thought that was pretty cool. Other than that, yeah, it was just you can definitely tell this was like an early 2000s film. This did come out in 2001, but unfortunately this would be Kane Hodder's last performance, and I do think this was a huge step up from Goes to Hell, but it's unfortunate he didn't come back after this. He really did get the bottom of the barrel when it came to horror movies, but he's still my favorite Jason, alongside Derek Mears, but if I had to pick one, it'd probably be Kane Hodder. But anyway, Jason X, meh film. That's all I have to say. It's a meh film. You can avoid this if you want to. You're really not missing much, but I'd rather watch this over the other two. Okay, now this is where it starts getting controversial, because this film, while it started the whole thing off and was did have some people that did deserve Oscars, it's just very boring at parts, and it's so low budget, but it's obvious for an early 80s film. And that is, I'm going to get shot at right now. The original Friday the 13th, released in 1980. Don't get me wrong. This was how I got introduced into the horror franchise and how it came to be. But you can tell this was definitely a cash grab after Halloween. You definitely can tell. This came out 80? I think Halloween came out 78. So yeah, 2 years. Literally, Sean S. Cunningham and Victor Miller said that they just wanted to cash in on Halloween. But you had some okay performances here. You had Kevin Bacon and then Adrian King. Betsy Palmer did an amazing job as a killer. I love Pamela Voorhees, but it was so out of left field, and you obviously knew who the killer was by the end of that film. It just dropped so much for me. Very boring at points, like, who wants to see somebody make coffee or make tea, it dragged on so much, but not a bad film. It was just mediocre. I definitely think the following sequels are better than this, except for like the other three. So Friday the 13th, not bad to start off, but definitely has improved over the years. So I know I'm going to get hate for this. Already leave it down in the comments. Okay. Now, this film. While I do enjoy the fight scenes and the performance of Jason, the MPAA neutered this film so much that it dropped it significantly, and that is Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. Love the cover art. Probably one of my favorite cover arts out of this whole franchise. But MPAA neutered this film so much that it's boring to see all these kills. There's literally almost no blood except for like 2 scenes. It was just so boring. Now, the Tina versus Jason aspect I really enjoyed. It was like a Carrie v. Jason. Believe it or not, this was supposed to be a Nightmare on Elm Street versus Friday the 13th, or Freddy versus Jason film, but they couldn't acquire the rights yet, or some miscommunication happened. They couldn't do it. Then they wanted to make like a Carrie versus Jason thing. They couldn't do that either, so then they just made a random girl with telekinetic powers and then made her fight Jason. But very cool fight scenes. Other than that, most of the characters sucked except like Tina and her love interest. And Kane Hodder, I think he's at his best performance here, with the Jason aspect and everything. But, you know, this film was neutered so much, I just can't, I can't rate it any higher. It's just, the Friday the 13th is mostly generated around the kills, and when you neuter that, it takes so much out of it that you don't even like it anymore. I also didn't enjoy running around the woods aspect. That got very annoying after the fact, and the ending was kind of dumb, if I got to be honest. But, I mean, it's not terrible. So, like, if you want to see a Jason versus Carrie fight scene, this movie's definitely for you. But I just can't rate it higher because the MPAA ruined this film. Sorry, Kane. Love you, but you didn't get the best films. Okay, now, just above that, we have another Jason fight with another horror icon, and that is Freddy versus Jason. This film had so much going for it. So much. But I definitely think Freddy got the better film than Jason did. And let me explain why. The director had not seen any of the other sequels in the franchise. He only saw the original film, and he only saw the original Nightmare on Elm Street film. The original film did not have Jason in it. It was Pamela. Jason was only in there at the very end for a jump scare. So he did not get a lot of the aspects of Jason right. Jason being afraid of water was so stupid. I hate that idea. It bugs me every time I see it. Ken Kersinger, he was a stuntman for Kane in Part 8, but in this film, playing Jason as throughout the whole movie, I did not like his performance. He just made Jason too slow and very choppy in his movements. I didn't enjoy that. The fight scenes, though, with Freddy and Jason save this movie, and I really do enjoy the plot and how they got these two characters together. You know, Freddy, nobody fears him anymore, so he brings Jason back from hell to get everybody to fear him again. And I really do enjoy that. Fight scenes are amazing. The camera work, amazing. The way it was edited, not so much. And the CGI did drop it down. The characters also didn't enjoy any of them except for like one. So, Freddy vs. Jason, loved the fights. Thought cinematography was good, but this was the first film that did not have Harry Manfredini, did not like the music, and I just can't rate it any higher because they did my boy Jason so bad. But definitely a good Freddy film if you guys want to check it out. It was alright. Pretty good crossover. Okay. Next on my list is a film that, while I did enjoy to start out with, I can't. The ending ruined it, and it really did sour my taste for it. And that movie is Friday the 13th, Part 2. I mean, Amy Steele did an amazing performance as Jenny. Definitely my favorite final girl, or one of my favorite final girls in this franchise. Awesome performance by her. Then Baghead Jason, very creepy. When we get to Packanack Camp, did enjoy that aspect. Poster's pretty cool too. Of course, Jason, this was his first movie. They did not come with the hockey mask until Part 3, which I'll get into later. I thought Jason looked pretty creepy in this film. Definitely a major step up from the original, but I do think sequels following got better. Writing was kind of bland. Some of the characters I didn't like, but most of them were pretty enjoyable, especially Ted. He was hilarious in that film. The way it was shot and the music, again, by Harry Manfredini was all amazing. Really enjoyed it. But the ending just completely ruined it. It soured my taste for the film. And I understand you want to do the same thing you did with Part 1 as a jump scare, but when you cut away from that and then you just have Jenny being rolled away in an ambulance, no idea where Paul went, completely soured the taste of film for me, and it bugs me every time I watch it. It was just very, very dumb. And I can't get over that. But still, amazing film. Steve Miner, amazing director. I think he did a really good job. But yeah, Part 2. Love you, man, but you're my number 6 pick. Sorry. But Just can't rate you any higher. Still a good film though. Check it out. Okay. Now, this is gonna shock some people. God, I can't talk. Shock some people. And it was a film that I hated growing up, but now watching it again, I do believe that my opinion has changed on it in the review, because I did see some more clips of it, and it did give me me having second thoughts about the film, and I already hear you guys typing away. That film is Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning. Do not like the cover art Scream Factory posted with. I'm going to just get that straight. I much would have rather preferred the hockey mask look. This film had the most nudity, obviously, because it was made by a porn director. And the nudity, I don't mind it, but seeing it like every scene, it does get kind of annoying. The way this film opened up, my God, it was so shocking. It was one of the best openings I've seen to a film. You get a kill right off the bat with this guy murdering him. The way they kind of go back to part 1 and do like a whole whodunit mystery thing, I did enjoy that aspect. However, the killer reveal sucked. Did not enjoy that. Roy being the killer was so out of left field. You only saw him for like 2 or 3 scenes out of the whole movie, so there's no way of knowing it could have been him. But still, I think the kills were pretty good. Probably the best out of the franchise up to that point. The final girl of this film, I totally forget her name, but Pam, that's her name. Pam, amazing final girl, probably my favorite with Jenny. Tommy Jarvis, probably my least favorite performance of him. I just did not like John Shepard as Tommy Jarvis. No offense to that guy, I just think the writing was not done well. Definitely prefer the other 2 Tommy films, which you will see soon. Other than that, kills are great. I love the whole dialogue, and the redneck people were pretty funny. So, how convenient that it's in my number 5 pick. So, Part 5, New Beginning. It's not as bad as people make it out to be. Please go check it out. Pretty good. Okay, now Michael's probably going to yell at me, but I don't care, man. I love this film. This was, I think, the film that got me into horror. Either that or Part 1. I can't remember which one it was, but he's going to hate me for this so much, guys. That film is Friday the 13th, Part 3, 3D. I'm so sorry, Michael. I know you hate this film, but I just really did enjoy it, and it holds a special place in my heart. And I know there's people out there saying, oh, you like it because that's when you got the hockey mask. No, stop with that argument. I hate it. It's fucking stupid, and if you say that shit in my comments, I will delete you. Just don't do that. But I think Richard Brooker did an amazing job as Jason. Chris, good final girl. Rick, her love interest, really did like him. The bikers could care less about him. I did not watch this film in 3D. I watched the 2D version. Even then, the 3D was terrible. That's why I couldn't put it in my top 3 or top 2. But I just really love how Jason killed these people. Like, there was one where he split a dude in half vertically. I thought that was pretty cool. Then you had another one where it was like Kevin Bacon's kill again, where he killed a pregnant girl and stabbed her up through the bed in the chest. Thought that was pretty cool. The final fight between Chris and Jason was one of the funniest final fights I had ever seen in a film, and I really did enjoy that. It got so chaotic towards that part, but yeah, I do understand the people's flaws with it, and I completely understand. But Shelley did draw this movie down a little bit for me too. I do not like him, but I just have such a nostalgic time for it every time I watch it, and I enjoy it. I'm sorry, Michael, but I understand it can't get annoying for you. I just really enjoy it. So, Part 3, number 4 pick. Please go check it out. It's not as bad as people say it is. I'm sorry, Michael, but it's really not that bad. Please check it out. Okay, now, getting into the top 3 Friday the 13th films. These might shock some people. Maybe not the last 2, but the third ranking in my list might shock somebody, and we are getting towards that. This film has been hated by so many people over the years simply because it was made in the 2000s and they had the cheesy stuff, but this film was so well written, well performed, and the Jason actor did an amazing job. And that is the Friday the 13th remake from 2009. I love the cover art of this movie. One of my favorites, again, like part 7, probably my third favorite. I just love the way it was directed. What brought it down for me, though, was how they cut in between like one group of people, and after they get killed off, they go to another. I didn't enjoy that aspect. Some of the ways Jason acted, I didn't really enjoy. The fact that we didn't get to see Jason's face throughout the whole film kind of bugged me. I really wanted to see it. But most of these characters were awesome. I loved the guy who played Nathan in Final Destination 5. I loved his performance. Lawrence, I believe his name, Lawrence in the film, I believe that's his name in Friday the 13th. Then you had Jared Padalecki saving the screen so much. He did an amazing job. I love how they use his aspect like Rob from part 4, how Rob was looking for his sister that went missing in part 2 and got killed. I love how they tried intertwining that with like the plots from 3 and 4 into 1. I enjoyed that. Derek Mears made Jason fucking scary. It was definitely my second favorite Jason performance. Did an amazing job of that. And then just the whole darkness feel to it and the suspense really got to me. The shaky cam I did not enjoy. That's why it's not higher than this, but still an amazing remake. Definitely probably my favorite remake I've seen so far. Please go check it out. I used to hate this film, but man, I really enjoy it now every time I watch it. So Friday the 13th remake. Very good film. Go check it out. Okay. I struggled with these last two, but eventually I came to a decision. Coming in, my number 2 pick was one that is probably overrated, but I still can't get enough of this film every time I see it. That is Friday the 13th, The Final Chapter. I know a lot of people are thinking it's my number 1, but I do have one more film above that I enjoy a lot more. The Final Chapter, as it says, was supposed to be the final entry in the Friday the 13th franchise before, they wanted to make another one, New Beginning, because this made lots of money. Corey Feldman as Tommy Jarvis was amazing. Love his performance. Then his sister Trish, I thought that girl did an amazing job. Ted White coming in as Jason. Running Jason was amazing. I do prefer this Running Jason a little more than the remake, in my opinion. I'm sorry, but either way, I do enjoy the Running Jasons in this film, in these two films. The kills, amazing. Tom Savini came back to do them from part 1, and I do think he improved heavily from that film. The final fight, amazing. The way they killed off Jason, amazing. However, I got to be honest, this film does get a little bit less fun every time I watch it. Probably due to the fact that I've seen it so many times, it's just gotten stale. But that doesn't mean it's a bad film. It's a great film. Please go check it out. Even though it's in my number 2, I still had an amazing time with it. I know some people might disagree, but man, an awesome film. Please go check it out. Definitely a solid 9 out of 10. Now, my number 1 pick has been the favorite movie of mine for a while, and I haven't got to share it with everybody until now. And it's probably my favorite directed film and the best comedic Friday the 13th franchise, or the best comedic Friday the 13th movie I've seen. And that is, similar with Michael, Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. Amazing cover. Same with Part 4. They both had amazing covers. Tom McLaughlin as director, he did an amazing job trying to find what was good about the previous other 5 films and putting it into this. I love the way they bring Jason back. Very solid resurrection with electricity like Frankenstein. Tom Matthews is Tommy Jarvis, my favorite Tommy Jarvis out of the 3 or out of the trilogy, my favorite Tommy Jarvis. His love interest, Megan, amazing. I thought, even the sheriff, I thought the guy did an amazing performance, and probably my favorite cop out of all the movies. C.J. Graham as Jason, while he's not my favorite, I still do think he did a pretty good job for what he had. The fact that we get to return to Crystal Lake after the previous films, really didn't enjoy that aspect, and the whole name change from it. The comedy in this film was awesome. Very, very good comedy. I really wish Tom McLaughlin would have came back and done more Friday films. It's a shame that this one kind of bombed. But it has been appreciated over the years. The ending, him getting chained to the bottom of Crystal Lake, really good. It's not a perfect film, but out of all the Friday films, it is definitely my favorite. So Jason Lives, probably would give it a 9 or 9.5 out of 10. Really solid film. Please check it out. Amazing cover, amazing director, really well written. The kills did get kind of lackluster. I hate they had to cut them down, but it's not near as bad as Part 7 when they cut it down. I think they only cut down like 1 kill in this film, but please check it out. Amazing film, my personal favorite in the franchise. Same with Michael, and just really well written and directed. So Harry Manfredini also came back to do the music again. So thank you so much for coming back for music. I believe Alice Cooper even did a theme song for this, so that was another tops for me. I think this was like the first theme song we got from a really good music writer. So that has been my ranking of the 12 Friday films. Some were god-awful, and my top 3, amazing. But either way, I still think you guys will enjoy this franchise. Here's all 12 films, from least favorite to favorite. But yeah, I really had a blast reviewing these with my boy Strange Michael and my other boy Goosebumps boy. Please go check them out. I'll leave links to their channels down below. Thank you all so much for watching and sticking with me through this ride. I'll be back later to start another franchise, but until then, I'm probably going to take like a 2-day hiatus break just to refuel. And please go check out Strange Michael's ranking on his channel. So thank you all for watching. Please let me know your ranking down in the comments down below. Would really love to see all of them. And I will see you in the next movie review. God bless and have a good weekend. Bye, everyone.